So at this point in the cycle, this is part 3, by the way. At this point in the cycle, we have this realization that we could either be misreading things, or they could be suffering from some kind of like energetic confusion and analysis paralysis, something like that. But either way, they're not ready to give you what you were after in the scenario, meaning that you should probably think about not distancing, because you don't need to distance. At least in my situation, I just need to keep on vibing, keep on doing exactly what I've been doing. Because nothing that I've been doing has been outside the realm of what a normal person would do interacting with a normal person. And Spirit has led us to the conclusion that we need to wait and see what happens, see how things go. And that could mean that this person has a different purpose in our lives. Or it could be that, the emotional stuff comes later, or after epiphanies happen, or, there's 100 ways it could go. But what we know right now is that one way or another, until they clarify their energy, we can't really pursue it. And when we come to that conclusion where we need to move on from one situation, what we did in the past, in the previous echoes, was move on directly to a new situation. A new crush, a new person, a new something. We would start reading cards for a new masculine. Something would happen, and we would start focusing on somebody else. And we're being guided not to really do that. I'm not going to download dating apps. I'm not going to look for a different gym crush. I'm not going to revisit any of the previous situations that haven't clarified at all in the time since. I'm literally just going to keep on focusing on my energy, keep on working out, keep on working on school, or studying for my practice exam, rather. It's not really school. I'm going to keep on doing the things that this entire field trip started me doing. There was some very specific changes that I made because this guy entered my life. And they were changes I'd already made 100 times. But this is like, should I recap? His story, his inspiration, his dedication motivated me to start working out again, to start lifting again, not just doing yoga, but to actively pursue my physique goals. It also inspired me to get back on my 6-day split when I was doing much less. And I was doing it much less efficiently. That motivation led me into a situation with somebody else where I could have been their personal trainer already. And that motivated me to get back into school. And it's been a domino effect of righting wrongs from the past, coming across best friends again, realizing what was truly important in my life. Even today, he has this constant perspective of gratitude that he's still alive. He can't complain about the things that don't go right in his life because he still has both legs, And I already felt like every day was a gift before, but that added perspective is important. And that daily reminder that somebody else feels that too, even outside of romance, is valuable. Maybe, if nothing else, it's a friendship. Maybe it's supposed to be that we affect each other in more than just the romantic ways that I was considering before. Perspective shifts can happen without a romantic connection. And I'm not going to take romance off the table necessarily. King of Pentacles. Had the Queen of Pentacles on the bottom just a minute ago. We don't have to take it off the table, but we also don't have to be hyper-focused on it. And even if that's not a thing, we're not going to go looking for the next connection. We're going to focus on ourselves and allow Spirit to pull in what is meant for us. And we've got the Empress here. And I've been thinking about it a lot. And I think if I got asked out by somebody else. With the information that I have now, I would probably go. With the information that I had last week, probably not. Because if you remember in a previous reading, I was like, this other guy was flirting with me. And it just wasn't him. That was the only thing wrong with them. It just wasn't him. But if I stop looking at it from exclusively, that's my fish context, why shouldn't I? I never considered casual dating. Not really. I would get on the apps and talk to people, but I wouldn't do anything. Because I'm not that easy to get in bed anymore. I'm like, those people, it's either like a turnoff just talking to them, or they just drop a pin and they're like, come over. And I'm like, yeah, how about we get to know each other first? And then I get to know them a little bit and I'm like, glad I didn't. I'm not some kind of prude or anything. I was pretty adventurous in my day. But passionate gratification isn't the point. I think I'm thinking about that a lot because, I don't understand why he's really dating. If he's not looking for a relationship, and it seemed like a very, very, the reaction was absolutely not gonna happen. When we brought up, not being single, he was like, nope, not gonna happen. It was very averse. And that means that casual dating has one of two outcomes: short-term girlfriend or physicality. He doesn't really strike me as the type, despite, having the body of a Greek god. It doesn't really strike me as the type. He's entirely focused on himself, his goals, his career, what he's doing. This isn't really about him, though. I don't need to wonder why he's dating. At the end of the day, it might not even be my business. But it got me thinking about if I should be. And the fact is, if I don't give people a chance, I can't feel that connection. But I'm used to very high energy scenarios. False twin in the twin flame, it was tangible. And then with King of Swords, it was synchronicity and feeling and build up and back and forth and that fairy tale kind of build up, And I can't say what he felt, but my perception's always been a cut above the average. I felt things. But I guess when it comes to what your higher self perceives, you don't need anybody else's validation to know what you feel is real. And with this guy, I haven't touched him, so I can't tell if I'm going to sense that physical divine spark that I have in the past with others. We've never touched yet. But I do recognize that he's a catalyst. I do recognize that he's an angel, that he's here for a purpose. Maybe we're here to shift each other.